these two slides here. I want to read real quick. This is in Exodus 32. Now, Exodus 20 is where he gave them, talked to them on the mountain and everything, right? And they went up to the mountain, and Moses went up to the mountain. They said, go talk to God, and we'll listen to you, right? They were all cool with that. And the mountain and the cloud was still there. They saw the cloud. We were talking last week, the fact it was a thundering cloud, right? It was thick and darkness. And some of that, and Brother Addison was asking, what about that darkness? It was like, I think there was that wrath. Those people saw there was a wrath. That there was God was in their presence, and there was the portrayal of the wrath, right? But he restrained himself, but he said, "Don't y'all touch this mountain." I don't know if you know, but in that story he said, "Don't. It's a boundary. Don't go too close, because if you go too close, you're gonna die." Right? So those people had to indicate, I get too close, I'm gonna die, right? And therefore, I talk about people put something in between. But I want to read these two slides, and then I want to get to this real quick afterward. It says here, and when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron, and look at it, and said unto him, get up, make us gods. He put an S in there. Which shall go look at this, go before us. Now that cloud was following them during the day, and it rested at night. They saw the same cloud that was part of them being delivered from Egypt, right? But look at this. They said, after they said, Moses, you speak to God. We'll hear you, right? First of all, they already gave up on Moses, because they said, I don't know what happened to him. They said, let us make a God that should go before us. For as for this Moses, because that's the point is, I want you to keep it in perspective, they still saw the cloud, Chris. And they worry about Moses. They talking about Moses, you speak to God, but the cloud is still there, right? And the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, look what they just did. What did they just do? Who brought them out of Egypt? But in reality, God brought.
They saying that man.
that man. You see what I'm saying? When we substitute, that's why he said you will have no other God before me, because then you're going to get into the wrong conclusion of where your blessings come from, where your authority comes from, where everything else comes from, other than the source, which is God. Right? He said, so go before us, for as for this Moses, the man that brought the man, I mean, I think God didn't want to slap him. Chris,
like right then, the man.
No, you didn't. What you did? Moses brought the plague. Moses split the sea. But I want you to get that. Let's look how we substitute. When we first did it, we said, Moses, you speak to us, right? That's the same Moses now that brought them out of the land of Egypt. We want not what is become of him. And Aaron, his brother, who was with Moses, right? He was selected to speak.
Exactly.
Because Moses didn't both say he couldn't speak too well. Aaron said unto them, break off the gold earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. Stuff.
Now see me, I always looked at this and thought about this. If I was a vengeful God, I'd have tore Aaron's butt up.
Oh, right there.
Aaron, I'd have tore Aaron's butt up.
right. He knew better than anybody, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
And he's a brother.
He fashioned it. I'd have tore him up.
I guess, doesn't that say to all of us, to include, how the disciples responded to Jesus, as close as they were with him, that even as close as we could get, because of our sin nature and how so easy it is to go back to walking in the flesh.
So easy.
That we're prone to do exactly what we did.
Oh, yes, sir.
None of us are immune to that.
I want you to make sure you understand. The Bible said that everything is written there for an example. You are no different than those people. A lot of people sit there and say, well, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done that. Yes, you would have.
But see, you know, it's telling me, and I don't mean to kind of jump in, but these things are coming to my head. It's telling me that, you know, especially, I shouldn't say especially now, because nothing's changed. We're no different.
Not new under the sun.
Nothing new under the sun. So, you know, we need to do some triage in church.
Right.
You know, there are all this stuff's going on.
Yes,
we
sir.
talk around the peripheral, you know,
Yes,
about
sir.
what's happening.
Uh-huh.
And what we need to do is be honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get up there and, you know, there are some things that they'll say.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know, if you lie about your taxes and this, but there's a lot of things they won't even mention.
They won't mention, but you know, but let's get into the vein of saying we need to do something, a triage. When we should make sure we even here in this session, make sure we understand what the answer is.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is don't put something substituting or in between you and God.
Amen.
Each individual has a responsibility, because the Bible said in the New Testament, work out your own salvation.
Mm-hmm.
We should have a relationship with God.
Mm-hmm.
The point I'm saying is once we put Moses in between God, and I'm saying once they did, now it's Moses that delivered them. And how about now? You see what I'm saying? Is sometimes we do ministry, we do the same thing. We put the pastor, or we put people as the judge, Chris. And now all of a sudden all we have to do is deal with the people.
We'll look at, and then I'm sure it's elsewhere. Look at how we say, "Oh, I go to," and I'm not knocking.
Yes, it.
this
I mean,
church.
it's not the
I'm
same.
knocking
Right,
church,
right,
because
right.
it's anywhere. But you know what church you go to. You know now. You know I'm just asking.
I got an
so
incoming
that-
call.
I'll just ask so that I know where the bishop might be at. So that, hey, if I want to go see my brother,
Hey,
you
good
know,
brother.
on at 9:30, 10 o'clock, wherever he's doing his thing. What's happening, man? But I just ask so that I know where you're at.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
not asking
Okay.
so that I can find out how big your church is, how
Right.
many people you got in
Right.
it, you know, blah. You understand?
Right,
what I'm
I
saying?
do, I do.
I'm not asking for that reason.
Right.
But some people,
That's what.
that's what they do.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, this discernment and the filtering, how the Bible, the more and more we get into it, it continues to help me filter through
Yes.
all this stuff.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way,
Uh-huh.
and I heard somebody say it the other day, the more I read the Bible, the more wretched I find out. That, matter of fact, it was our youth pastor. he was being ordained.
Right.
And that was his you know, he was doing his doing the message, and he says, yes, you know, the more I read it,
The more
I find out how wretched I am.
Yes, sir.
As an individual.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I hear you. I'm with you there. And that's, you know, those truths, man. You know, it's like when you go back to, you know, the Beatitudes.
Right.
Whoa, because, you know, if you just stick with the Old Testament, you all the way wrong. You know,
Yeah.
you got to get, man. When Jesus said you have murder in your heart, you have lust in your heart, you've already committed adultery. Wait a minute, I ain't put my hands on it
Hey,
yet.
put hands on, right.
I thought I did a good thing by
Back it up.
back it up.
Back it
Right,
up.
No,
Come on now.
because you still all over.
Right.
In your heart.
But here's it. I still want to point back that, and it's interesting that Pastor, I'm using that right off what people say. The good news is I'm not wretched because not me, but because of him. That's why I say I can't use my ministry, because the ministry doesn't do it.
Right.
People doesn't do it. People don't validate that. See, I need a validation from God.
Amen. Right.
Huh?
Right.
And he already gave a validation through Jesus Christ. He's trying to say, yes, I know you're wretched. I know you're miserable if you're not in Christ.
Amen.
Because that word you use, the same was in Revelation chapter 3 when they're talking about the what is the last church? Laodicea, whatever that last church is. He said, we had money, we had all this stuff. He said, you don't recognize you're naked, miserable, and blind. I'm writing off what the man said. He bases in that the person.
Well, the question becomes then. The question becomes,
Oh,
if
damn it.
he's writing to the church at Laodicea,
You call it again?
why do they have those?
Can you hear us?
unsaved issues.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh? Go ahead. Say it again.
He's writing to the church at
Yeah.
Laodicea.
Yeah, I know. You're with, yeah.
Is he not talking to them like they're unsaved?
He, you know, it's
You are
interesting.
naked, poor, blind, and wretched.
And you just, yeah.
That don't sound like somebody who's in Christ with me.
Woo! I mean, seriously, that's true.
That sounds like somebody who's flat straight lost. They told the scribes and Pharisees, "You're blind."
Yes. Blind leading the blind. Come on.
So why is he talking to them like that? They're in the church.
In the church. That's true. That's a letter to the church. That's in Revelation chapter 3,
Cause they ain't got.
starting verse 14.
They got it, but they don't have it.
Well, see, it's the same problem they have in Exodus.
Yeah.
You see, when you look at Scripture, you got to always look at two things. You got to always look at two things. You got to always look at what God has done and what God is doing.
Yes, sir.
You see, everything rides on what God has done.
Yes, sir.
That gets you out of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Come on.
But to get into the promised land requires that you embrace what God is doing. What God has done to get you out.
Mm-hmm.
But what God is doing. You see, so in that simple analogy, you have the death and the resurrection life of Christ. The death of Christ will bring you back to God.
Mm-hmm.
But the life of Christ will get you into the kingdom. You follow that?
Yeah.
You see, in order for the life to work in you, you got to embrace what God is doing.
Yes, sir.
To embrace what God is doing requires that you have a mind now.
Yes.
You have a mind. You're mindful. You're conscious of what God is doing.
Yes.
They are out of Egypt.
Yes.
So God done went in and parted the Red Sea and did plagues and did miracles. God done brought them out. There's no question about that. They know that. What they don't know is that to go on with God, I must now embrace what is God doing now, which means I got to get my mind out of Egypt.
Yeah. And the thing I'm saying, Bishop, was the fact that they substituted that it wasn't God that brought them out. They put man in there. They put Moses in there. Go ahead.
See, that's kindergarten go, because you understand now. Even now, there is this sense of mediation going on. We can't just run up to God.
Mm-hmm.
We approach the Father in Christ through Christ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they see, God is very much aware. Okay, I just brought these jokers out of Egypt.
Right.
They in the butt naked flesh.
Uh-huh.
I need some mediation between them, so I can get them up to speed, get them up to a mind or a consciousness of who I am, so that they begin to understand. Because see, that's why you see that's why there is a boundary.
Uh-huh. Oh. Whoa. Woo.
That's why there is a boundary around
Yes,
the
sir.
boundary.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cause see, I'm holy, and I don't want to hear your stuff, but I didn't know what I'm doing. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna help you. All right, so in your midst, don't come no further than this now. Beyond this, if you ain't right, you see, Moses goes in and out of the boundary, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moses go up the mountain, go be with God. He ain't got no problem.
Right.
He's saying you get like this if you get like Moses. Christ becomes our transformation, and in Him we begin to look like Him. We begin to conform to Him. It is through Him. That's the mystery. And this is why Moses said that God shall raise up a prophet like unto me. Him shall you hear. Even Moses understands that he is nothing more than a shadow.
Yes. Yes.
of the one that is to come.
Mm-hmm.
Moses doesn't understand. I can get you in. God has called me to begin to do the shadowing work to point you to the one that is to come. And if you can embrace that now by faith, God accept you right now.
Yes.
That's the glory of it. Even though Christ had been born, see, faith can look forward or faith can look back. And we are the ones that have faith looking back. We ain't seen Christ. We weren't there when he died. We weren't there when he was crucified.
Come on.
But by record, we look back on an event that we know happened. Faith, in that sense, is what they call reckoning. But they were looking forward to his coming. And it doesn't matter whether faith is looking forward or reckoning backward. It is faith that God requires in order that we can receive anything from him.
Yes.
It is the pipeline through which the substance and the life and everything that God would ever communicate to us, it comes to us through faith.
Through faith.
So see, if we get saved and we fail to acquire the mindset necessary to allow us to participate in this life union.
That's me. That's you.
That's me. Then we miss the point.
Uh-huh.
Now he'll say to us the same thing he said to. He'll say the same thing to us. He said to the children of Israel.
Yeah. Come on. Well, go ahead.
You see, you have to start thinking. You have to really start getting at the basis behind. See, I tell people, don't be afraid to ask God why.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Why do I need to have my mind renewed?
You said something, bro?
No, I was just agreeing with him.
Okay.
And what he was saying, it just brought to mind just his process.
Yeah.
You know, when he first went to God, he wasn't transformed yet. He had to go and step out in faith, and he began to do those things in faith that God had asked him to do. And once he was operating with God, and he kept going back to his presence, then he was transformed.
Well, yeah. In the fact that he went, when he first met God, he was like, I ain't right. If he told him, take off your shoes, boy, you're on holy ground, though. Mm-hmm. And Moses was at least honest with God.
Man, it took God 80 years to get Moses right.
Look at that, 80 years.
40 years as himself, then 40 years isolated.
Woo!
It just shows another process that needs to take place, because you get a lot of people, they get saved, and then that fire that's in them, think that they're ready to go
zeal.
Be the preacher.
They call that zeal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that zeal that's in them, and that hyper emotion of being redeemed, and they think that they can go from that to a pulpit.
Wow. I'm looking at the fact.
There's a process.
Yeah. It is a process. But I like, Bishop, it's good what you're saying is the fact is recognizing because what he did and what he's doing. Because I think that's the critical piece in a relationship. That's why I said we don't want something substituting between God and you. Your relationship between you and God is what is God doing in you.
Yes.
He's working on every last, you see what I'm saying? He's working on every last one of us. Mm-hmm. The fact is that even that testimony with the pastors, youth pastors, like, man, outside of him, I'm just a wretched blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But in him, but God, look what God is doing. It's almost like saying, by saying all the negative, Chris, it's almost sitting there saying is, he ain't doing nothing. Are you with me? He ain't doing nothing.
Now, if you stayed there, that's not what this gentleman was saying. He was just realizing that, again, when we come before, matter of fact, in one of the scriptures there it says about the fear of the, so you can see the fear before you. There's an interesting way to look at that. Because that's kind of beyond the first time. Yeah. So that you can see the fear before you. That's what this gentleman was saying. Hey, the more and more I read this, the fear before me. This guy is he's all in. Don't get me wrong.
I'm just saying how we look at something as a testimony. I'm sitting there saying is, what is he do? See, they said Moses brought him out.
But Moses
God brought him out.
Right.
God is still with them. Even when Moses was taken, look, Moses was taken into the cloud. But that's not important. Because God is still there. Just like God is still there with you and me.
Yes.
He's in us.
But see, that's the cost